Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. Welcome to EFA39 on this Wednesday, May 6th. This is certainly not Groundhog Day, okay? Not Groundhog Day. And I say this because yesterday I was listening to a talk show host and he talked about Groundhog Day, which made me laugh because I used to use that analogy all the time. This feels like Groundhog Day. And this morning, coming around the corner, I see this reporter, and she's always there, like every other day and that. But she's running her live reporting outside of her house, the front of her house, for the last 4 weeks, whatever, since the COVID-19 scare. So she's been doing that from day one. So every time I see her, I feel like Groundhog Day, like my day repeats itself. And those that don't know what Groundhog Day is Bill Murray's movie Groundhog Day that got tagged, and the title stuck to everybody that repeat their same day to Groundhog Day. So this is certainly not Groundhog Day, and I'm going to get into that and why. Like me, just today, it feels more like I tell my wife, I tell people that listen to this, I feel like a dog. I feel like a dog, the same routine every day, but it's definitely not Groundhog Day because it's not bright, beautiful sunshine today, right? In the world of business, in the world of health, in the world of COVID-19. So that if it was Groundhog Day, I'd be choosing a different day instead of this one, right? So when I look at the like a dog, like the same routine every day. A long time ago, I was on this lifestyle diet, and I was asked, "How do you feel?" Like a dog. I'm eating the same thing every day. Don't like that, right? I've matured over the years. And then when I look at this and I look at business and I look at everything I've talked about, and the reason why I'm saying this is not Groundhog Day, because we are learning. We are learning. Each and every one of us are learning every day right now, right? This whole weird realm that we're in, especially those in business, I talk to them all the time. They are in a real weird realm right now, and they're learning every day. And what we have learned overall in general population, we've learned that we need bigger space. Those that run businesses, for example, right? Bigger space because some of them want to have their offices at home now. So do we need an extra bedroom? Do we need a bigger property? Do we need a bigger house? Do I need to move my business into a property? Do I need to make an addition to my property? Can I do an addition to my property? Et cetera, right? So people are having those conversations for that reason, to move their business out of the house, because now they know how to do everything electronically because we've been herded into the electronic world. So even those that wouldn't even do online shopping are now doing their administration, their online banking, they're doing all that stuff, right? So everybody's learning how to use a computer, and everybody's learning how to do banking online, et cetera, et cetera. So that's one thing we've learned. And we've learned that we can move our businesses to our house. Hence, we're going to need more bigger real estate, more room, more et cetera. Number two, we're going to need is property. Either you can build your hydroponics into your extra rooms, your bigger properties, because people are learning that they're going to have to grow vegetables and they're going to have to get self-sufficient. So those with backyards and that or properties can grow gardens, but you have already started. A lot of people have already started and posted online. You've seen that for the last month, starting their gardens indoors, starting their gardens outdoors to eat real fresh vegetables. One, for sustainability. So safe food and sustainability, that being self-sufficient, that's why they're doing it. And the other reason, so this goes back to needing backyards. Those that want backyards, they to grow vegetables, be self-sufficient, and also for peace of mind. Because if you think the pandemics are gone and there won't be any more viruses down the road and this whole stop the world and that kind of stuff, you think this is going to be just like that now, when we go back, there won't be a second wave or a third wave or something in the next 2 years, or something new is going to come out, or a new virus of some kind, or whatever, the V Nation, let's call it the V Nation that we're going to be in. So those that want to have backyards, that want to have property, so that if it does come down again, here, flick the switch, let's go back to whatever, stage 4 now, lock up. So people want backyards, people want properties to grow their vegetables for peace of mind, right? And to have the ability to step outside onto their own property without being told they can't walk through a park, they can't walk down the street, et cetera, et cetera. So now let's go back to the reality. When you look at everything that's going on, we've learned that we don't have to go to hospitals, correct? I've talked about this in previous EFAs, that we only need to go to hospital when we're really sick, because we have, unless we have a lot of lion doctors and nurses and medical experts across the globe, because you all saw those videos, and some of them you whatever, you don't listen to, and some of them you do. But if you look at commonality, unless every single medical professional around the globe is lying online and the YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff, there has to be some availabilities in hospitals, right? Because what they've proven is backlogs right now, major surgeries, a lot of backlogs, because they only treated really COVID-19. There was a lot of COVID-19 cases to treat, but now they're finding there's a lot of availabilities in hospitals. There's a lot of open beds, right? So, but to me, the optimist in me, which I've talked about before, is that we all know that we don't have to go to the hospital for our little bobos no more. So that's number one. Number two, we know that we got to stop putting impurities in our body, right? We got to watch our obesity. We got to watch the number of medication cocktails that we're taking every day. We got to watch our immune systems, those that are being affected right now because they have cancer and so forth and have weak immune systems. We know that the V nation, the virus nation, they tend to go after those that have weak immune systems. They tend to go after those that are obese. They tend to go after those that take a lot of prescription products because they have underlying conditions, et cetera, et cetera. So we know that we have to stay healthy by gardening, eating real food. We know that we need more space. We know that we don't need to go to hospital as much. We know that we need to stay slim and fit and healthy, and we eat, like I said, real food, no impurities and all that stuff. That processed food world with sugar worlds, that kind of stuff is not good for these kind of situations, which are going to keep coming most likely at us. So we've learned all that. But what we've learned also is a lot of these programs that are out there that supposedly for business are not for businesses. They trickle down to the employees, but when you look at the business, it actually is not for the business. For the business that like it helps the employees and it helps keep the business treading water, right? You fell off the cruise ship, you're landed in the middle of the ocean, now you're treading water, hoping something's going to go by so you can snag on and possibly climb that life ladder again, right? Because right now, those monies that are coming in, you have to qualify for them, you have to have employees, you have to qualify for something in 2019, et cetera, but it's not ready for the business. It's not you for the business in case you're like being told right now how to run your business, which is coming to a business near you. Those that are going to open the doors, you're going to be told how to run your business. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be very blunt here. Like I said, I'll be blunt. Unless you've actually run a business, unless you've actually put on the shoes of starting a business, grinding a business, making it real, this is a real business now. Now I'm making profitability. Now I'm growing. Now I'm hiring. Now I'm all that kind of that jazz that comes with the hustle of the business. Unless you've done that, you should not be dictating how to run a business. Right. And that's what's happening right now. And those measures and procedures and all those rules and regulations and how many people you can have in your service salon and how many people you can have in your bar and how many people you can have in your restaurant and how many people you can have in your store and how many people you can have and what you're going to have for them and what products you're going to have for them and how they're going to operate their business and what hours they're going to operate their business, et cetera, et cetera. Who's going to help them for that overhead they're responsible for, which I talked about in multiple EFAs? Who's going to help them financially? Right? So what we're learning is that there's no financial help for that. Those that have been working for a year, one of my businesses have been working for a year and a half on this, almost a year and a half, and we were there, and then everything paused. This is a global deal. Pause, stop. I talked about one of my other deals that disappeared because of COVID-19. So all these companies, all these deals are disappearing, all these things are being canceled, these contracts are being canceled, these hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in rent of responsibilities. Some of these smallest places are 10, 15, 20,000 a month in rent, just in rent, not their overhead, not their food, not their supplies, not their staffing, not their hands in their pockets, nada, just their rent, 15, 20,000 a month, ladies and gentlemen. That's the small ones. Go bigger. Go anything big, those big restaurants and that kind of stuff, hundreds of thousands of dollars just in lease rates, right? And the people on top, the same thing, and they go into the millions, et cetera, right? So where's the money for that? Where's the money for all those businesses to survive, to keep going? Because remember, I talked about this. This is not Groundhog Day because this is not going to repeat itself. It's going to get worse. It's going to be like a two-year woe out there. So there needs to be money to those that are running their businesses. But beyond that, there has to be guidelines, not restrictions. Guidelines, not restrictions for them to operate their businesses. They don't need to know. And we've proven that of a lot of the parts in the world, the civilized nations, the ones that are disciplined, that they can run their businesses, they can run without causing spikes in COVID-19. And you don't have to look far. Just to look at the last, since mid-March, when all these restrictions started, we're now mid-May almost. So in the last 2 months, and whenever these COVID-19 measure procedures start happening around the world, go look at all your essential services. Go look at all your construction industry. Go look at all your couriers and companies that kept working every single day. They were at the job site every day. They were inside their factories every day. They were somewhere because they were essential. And look if there's a spike in those. Probably not, eh? You go look at that. All those individuals that have been working every single day. I've been intermingling every single day. We respectively within each other's distances. We stayed our minimum 6 feet. We had measuring procedures. We had sanitizers, etc., etc. But we all did not had to be told within each other what to do because we just did it, just like those civilized nations. One of the things we have learned in this country and this world and this globe that we have uncivilized individuals. We know that we've empowered the morons and we've given them voices. We know that we should have been listening to certain individuals, but we weren't because they were right. Right. We know that we have a lot of politicians that are just really interested for the vote, but we've always known that. And we know that there's some people that are now leading this globe into, let's just call it, their not emotions, but their ideology. There's an ideology going on here globally, an ideology that's pushing everybody into a certain direction of control. And there's a lot of businesses that are going to be hurt for this. So my mindset here tells me that this ideology might not be business friendly, because if it was business friendly, those programs wouldn't be tied to just employees. They'd be tied to the businesses themselves, and those programs would be interest-free loans and kickstart loans based on numbers, based on what they spent, based on real business. If it's a real business, real numbers, real expenditures, real proof, real incorporations, real paperwork, real banking, real everything, then you should be able to help them with guidelines and money and not rules to tell them how to run their business. Jean-Guy Bourguignon, EFA 39, wishing each and every one of you a most productive, financial, successful path growing forward. Thank you.